This week I am trading in a single family home rental for a strip mall, and in this video I'm going to talk about how and why I'm doing that, as well as share some numbers, share my investing philosophy, and share a little bit about what I've learned and why I'm doing this. So right now I am driving to the rental home, hopefully for the last time, to do a few final fixes on it before we sell it on August 11th, which is in about a week. All right, so this is the rental house. We've owned this for a little over 2 years. I bought it from a coworker 2 years ago that was selling it for $343,000. At the time, I felt like it would be a good investment, and I was kind of dabbling in single family homes, residential real estate. And so the numbers on it were, we put about $100,000 down, including closing costs. Our principal and interest payment were, and taxes and insurance all in, was about $2,300, and then $100 or $200 a month for capital expenses and vacancy. And we rented it for $2,700 a month. So we made money on it every month, but not very much. And what I've decided is I just don't love residential real estate anymore and residential rental homes. I just feel like it's a big responsibility to be providing somebody's life and livelihood and where they're living. And if the water heater goes out or there's a leak or something like that, it's something that I don't really love, that responsibility. I don't think that just from a faith-based perspective, we own anything. I think God gives it to us, and it's just a responsibility to steward over. And to be honest, I didn't feel like I was doing that great of a job stewarding over this property. So we decided to sell this. We're selling it for $376,000 2 years later. Take out real estate fees, closing costs, that kind of a thing. We'll end up making about $10,000 on the investment, which isn't great, but I think that's part of investing too. I really like real estate. It's something that I enjoy learning about. It's hard, it's challenging, it pushes you a lot. And so I would look at the last 2 years of this investment and say, yeah, it wasn't something that went very great, but I learned a lot. I learned mostly a lot about what I don't want to do. And that for now is single family home rentals. I just think it's really, really hard to make the numbers work. We had a 7.25% interest rate on this. And so it's just a tricky thing. But what I've also learned over the last few years is what I do like. And that's why I'm excited. On Thursday of this week, we are closing on our first ever strip mall. And the reason that we're buying the strip mall is it's just something I understand a lot better. Over the last few years, I've been blessed to understand and study commercial real estate a little bit. And so at least I think that's gonna be a good investment. We're closing on that, like I said, on Thursday of this week. So when I run down there and do the kind of final walkthrough, I'll go through the numbers on that. And essentially what I'm doing is taking the capital that we're getting after we close on this property and putting it into the strip mall. Now I do have one partner on the strip mall, so it's a 50-50 split, but essentially we're taking $120,000 out of this home and putting it into a strip mall, which is kind of crazy that you can make things like that work. You can either have half of a strip mall or you can have one single family home. If I'm really honest too, I'm just so over fixing the little things on this house. For whatever reason, this house just makes me so anxious, worrying about having to come up here and fix something little or getting a call from a tenant that a major problem's happened. And I'm just kind of at a point in my life where I don't want to be dealing with those little headaches anymore. And unfortunately, when I bought this house, I didn't have enough margin in my numbers to pay somebody else to be doing those things. So I'm really excited to hopefully within a week here be selling this one, be moving on, taking the funds from this one, putting it into the strip mall, and focusing on something that I think I'm a little bit better at from a real estate perspective. But that's half the battle. I think, learning what you're good at, learning what you like doing, but also learning the things you don't like doing. And so I look at this experience of 2 years of owning this house and hardly making any money as a really, really cheap education. So thankful for the experience. I hope when I leave here, I never have to see this house again. All right, that's it for working on this house. I am hoping and praying that this is the last time I'm ever here. Let's cross our fingers. So it's tomorrow. I shaved. I'm driving down to Minneapolis to sign the papers to close on the strip mall today. Sign them today, but we'll close in 3 days. And I was just realizing I have the garage door opener for the rental home in this car that I'm driving here today still. So what that means is I'll have at least one more trip to the rental home at least. So hopefully that's the only trip I've got left. Yep, let's do this. Sure, I'm sorry I'm late.
No, don't worry about it.
Just like that, we're signed. It's crazy how simple that is to buy a $1 million+ property. I shouldn't say simple, it's been a pain in the butt the last 60 days trying to get this thing closed, but super excited for it. I'm gonna jump to Thursday when we're on site, show the facility a little bit, and talk a little bit more about it then. All right, it's Thursday, day one of the new ownership of our strip mall. So most of the strip mall is been converted to mini storage, which is what we're really good at operating, or at least we like to think we are. So I was just meeting the property manager down here, walking through the building a little bit, and we've got a few extra units that we got to start getting rented out. We're thinking about maybe taking some of these bigger units and cutting them into 5x10s potentially. Just trying to find out which units rent best, get the occupancy up a little bit, but overall it's pretty well rented out. So real quick, just the numbers on this facility. So we're buying it for 1.3, 250 down, 125 each from my partner and I. Shout out to Matt, hopefully you're watching this. And the revenue on it is, there's 3 tenants. One's a dance studio, one is a franchise gym, and then the storage conversion. And so the revenue from the storage is about $10,000 a month. The revenue from the gym is $5,500 a month, and then the dance studio is $1,500. So all in, it's about $200,000 a year annually in revenue. The total expenses on the property are approximately $86,000 a year to operate everything, including a property manager. So hopefully I'm not having to do all of the fixing as much. And then our debt service is approximately $6,200 a month, a little bit less. So all in expenses is just under 160, 158 or something like that. So the total projected cash flow, and I say projected because cash flow is speculative always, things happen. You know, real estate's a hard business and sometimes you're wrong. So, but total projected is about $42,000, split between 2 guys. We're looking at $21,000 in cash flow each, compared to the rental home that we are signing actually the papers on here this afternoon to sell, which is approximately $2,400 to $3,000 a year that we're making on that. So it's about 5 or 6 times what I project at least to make on about the same investment. So super excited for it. We'll see exactly what happens. But so far, feeling pretty good about this one. I was watching back the other day the video that I was making while we were signing those papers, and I realized that I badly need a haircut. So I got one scheduled for this afternoon, but for now I got the cap again. Real estate to me is not necessarily all about being a slumlord and profit. I just think it's a noble goal. It's fun. It's a hard thing to be good at. There's a lot of effort that goes into it. It's running a business, and I think the pursuit of greatness and the pursuit of growing and pushing is just something that I really enjoy, and learning a lot. Being a lifelong learner, taking what we've learned from past deals and putting them into future deals. The idea that it sometimes doesn't all go right and there's problems all the time. I think it's a noble goal, and that's why I do real estate. So that's why I was making this video, just to talk a little bit about, you know, why and how I was changing from one asset of a single family home to a strip mall purchase. Thank you for watching. Hope this was somewhat interesting to you, and if it was, maybe we'll see you next time.